High up in the cold, snow-covered peaks of the Himalayas, where the ice never melts, a powerful Rakshasa named Bhasmasur was deep in meditation. He was a devout follower of Lord Shiva, and for countless years he sat unmoved, caring neither for food nor clothing, heat nor cold. His entire being was focused solely on Lord Shiva. After ages of this intense penance, Lord Shiva decided to bless him. One day, as Bhasmasur continued his meditation, the Lord appeared before him. Radiant like the rising sun, Shiva stood as the perfect ascetic. His body smeared with ash, wearing deer skin, his matted locks coiled on his head, snakes coiled around his arms and neck, and holding the mighty Trishul in his hand. The sight was breathtaking, and Bhasmasur was struck dumb with awe at Shiva's divine presence. In a calm and kind voice, Lord Shiva said to the stunned Rakshasa, "I am pleased with your devotion. Ask me for any boon you wish." Feeling proud of his achievement, Bhasmasur thought to himself, "I must be a great ascetic, indeed, if the Lord himself is offering me a boon." Then he said aloud, "O Lord, grant me this. Whatever I touch with my right hand should turn to ashes immediately." Despite his long penance, Bhasmasur still had a wicked demonic heart. What a terrible boon to ask. But Lord Shiva, bound by his word, simply replied, "Tathastu." That is, so be it. No sooner had Bhasmasur received the boon than a dark idea crept into his mind. He would test the power on Lord Shiva himself and destroy him, making himself the most powerful being in the universe. Shiva instantly realized the danger. If Bhasmasur succeeded, not only would he be destroyed, but the balance of the world would collapse into chaos. But having granted the boon, he couldn't revoke it. There was only one option left. He had to flee. And so, the great Lord Shiva, holding his trident, ran. He ran across mountains and deep valleys, over rivers and vast plains, through thick forests and peaceful hermitages. Wherever he went, Bhasmasur followed closely, determined to touch him and test his newfound power. Shiva, the mighty ascetic, was now racing for his life with the relentless Rakshasa hot on his heels. What a strange and unbelievable scene it was. The mighty Lord of the universe, Shiva, running to save his life, chased by a wicked, foolish Rakshasa. Birds fluttered away from treetops in alarm, their tiny hearts racing. Forest animals stopped in their tracks, eyes wide with shock, before darting off to safety. The wild chase continued, Shiva gasping for breath as he ran ahead, and Bhasmasur, eager to try out his destructive boon, close behind him. Shiva was exhausted. The run had been long and draining. His breath was growing shorter, his limbs heavier, but he couldn't stop. Not yet. If he slowed down even a little, Bhasmasur might succeed. Meanwhile, in Vaikuntha, the divine realm, Lord Vishnu was watching the whole event unfold. Amused by Shiva's predicament, he thought, well, he has learned a lesson for granting such a reckless boon without thinking. But enough is enough. It's time to help my dear friend. At that moment, Shiva had just rounded the curve of a mountain, while Bhasmasur was still some distance behind. Vishnu saw his chance. He instantly transformed into Mohini, a stunningly beautiful young woman, graceful, delicate, and charming, and positioned himself right at the bend. As Bhasmasur ran up, sweating and panting, still chasing after Shiva, he was suddenly stopped in his tracks by the sight of Mohini. The enchanting maiden gently caught his hand and said sweetly, "O noble one, you look exhausted. Why are you running so furiously? Come with me to my father's ashram nearby. You can rest, have something to eat and drink, and regain your strength. After that, you'll be ready to chase again with full energy." But Bhasmasur, annoyed and impatient, yanked his hand away and replied, "Let me go. That cursed Shiva is getting away. I must touch his head with my right hand and burn him to ashes. Once he's gone, I'll rule all three worlds." His obsession with power blinded him to the wisdom of rest, or the danger that lay ahead. Just as Bhasmasur was about to rush forward again, something caught his attention. He truly noticed Mohini for the first time. Her beauty completely captivated him. Her flowing black hair, smooth and fair forehead, wide, gentle eyes like those of a deer, and a small, delicate mouth, all of it enchanted him. His gaze drifted to her graceful hands resting on his arm, her slender figure, her dainty feet adorned with anklets that tinkled softly. And in that moment, he forgot all about Shiva and the dangerous boon he had received. Overwhelmed by desire, Bhasmasur lunged forward to grab her, but Mohini swiftly stepped away. Then he blurted out, "You are incredibly beautiful, Mohini. I want to marry you. Will you be my wife?" Mohini responded with a playful laugh. "My lord," she said coyly, "how can I believe your words? The man I marry must love only me. He must never take another wife. But you Rakshasas, you have so many wives. I cannot trust that you will stay true." With passion burning in his heart, Bhasmasur pleaded, "I swear, Mohini, if you agree to marry me, I'll never even look at another woman again. You'll be the only one for me. Please say yes." Mohini looked at him shyly, then turned her eyes away. "You men," she sighed. "You always make promises, but never keep them. Words mean nothing. If you are really serious, then place your right hand on your head and take an oath. You must swear you will never marry somebody else." Blinded by desire and completely caught in her spell, Bhasmasur didn't think twice. He raised his right hand and touched his head, beginning to say, "I swear." But he never finished. The moment his hand touched his head, the body was consumed by the very power he had wished for. He was reduced to a pile of ashes in an instant. Elsewhere, Shiva was still running, gasping for air and constantly looking over his shoulder to see how close Bhasmasur was. But strangely, there was no sign of him. Puzzled, Shiva slowed down and waited. Still, the Rakshasa didn't appear. That was odd. Bhasmasur had immense energy and wouldn't just stop. Curious, Shiva retraced his steps and reached the bend where he had last seen Bhasmasur. There, he saw a heap of ashes, and standing beside it was an incredibly beautiful maiden. He asked her if she knew what had happened. With humility and grace, she narrated everything. "Lord," she said, "I saw you running and understood you were in danger. I couldn't stand by. If Bhasmasur had caught you, who would protect the creatures of this world? So I tricked him. I made him swear on his own head that he would never marry again. That was all I had to do. He destroyed himself. I did it all for you." Shiva, deeply moved, smiled with gratitude. He stepped forward to embrace her in thanks, but before he could, she vanished from his arms. Confused, Shiva looked around, and to his amazement, there stood Lord Vishnu in all his divine radiant glory, smiling gently. Shiva now understood. It was Vishnu, his closest friend, who had come to his rescue in the form of Mohini, using wisdom and charm to defeat evil. Shiva smiled back, filled with relief and admiration for the Supreme Preserver's brilliance and timely help.